Well, hey, everybody, welcome back to the Daily Six. The morning got away from me today, so I'm doing my time with God during lunch. You're going to join me? Just finishing up a salad here from the Weis Supermarket. Grab your Bible, Genesis chapter 27. Let's get it open and let's take a look. Man, it's a scorching, nearly 90 degrees here in Northern Virginia today. It's hot outside, so this air-conditioned car is going to help me a lot as I spend my time with the Lord. But can you imagine it's awful hot like the Middle East? And can you imagine having to walk 460 miles in this kind of temperature? In our situation here in North America in modern times, we've got hotels to stay in with air conditioning, soft pillows. We've got cars the air conditioning can help us, maybe even some airplanes we can get around in. But when Jacob had to flee his family, there wasn't any of that. He had to live in the wilderness as he traveled these 460 miles across the Middle East to flee from his murderous brother. Do you remember last week, Jacob, true to his name, was a deceiver, and he was one who was manipulative, and he deceived his brother out of his birthright. He stole it from his father, lied and deceived, and got the inheritance passed on to Jacob when it really belonged to Esau. When you remember, we read there in Genesis chapter 27, you got it open, verse 41, Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given to him. And so he said to himself, the days of mourning for my father are near, so I'm going to kill my brother Jacob. When Rebekah was told what her older son Esau had said, Rebekah being the mom, she sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him, your brother Esau is consoling himself with the thought of killing you. So now then, my son, do what I say. Flee at once to my brother Laban in Haran, which was 460 miles away, friends. That's a long trip in the hot desert sun. Stay with him for a while until your brother's fury subsides. And when your brother is no longer angry with you, and he forgets what you did to him, yeah, right. You think this guy's ever really going to forget the stolen inheritance, the ripping him off? Well, the mom says when things calm down, when he's feeling better about it, when he forgets what you've done, verse 45, then I will send word for you to come back from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day? Can you imagine this? How heartbreaking this travel was? That he's not only enduring the hardships of travel, he is enduring his family's scorn and that loss, that sense of not belonging, that sense of being unmoored. What do you suppose he wanted to hear from God? What would you want to hear from God in that space? Go over to chapter 28. Would you skip down to verse 10? And there's a narrative here of what God did for Jacob while he's traveling and sort of an unannounced response from God. We pick it up in verse 10. Where it records that Jacob left Beersheba, where the family was living, and set out for Haran. And when he reached a certain place, he stopped for the night because the sun had set. Taking one of the stones there, he put it under his head and lay down to sleep. Friends, remember, they don't have hotels the way we do, traveling across this land. He's literally going to sleep on a rock. Can you imagine? It just kind of goes from bad to worse, that I'm estranged from my family, but now all this discomfort. Well, while he's sleeping, verse 12, he had a dream in which he saw a stairway resting on the earth with its top reaching to heaven. And the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And there above that staircase, at the top of the staircase stood the Lord. And he said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham, the God of Isaac. Jacob, I'm going to give to you and your descendants the land in which you're lying. Your descendants will be like the dust of the earth. You'll spread out to the west and to the east and to the north and to the south. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you and your offspring. I am with you. I'm with you and will watch over you wherever you go. And I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I've done what I promised to you. And when Jacob awoke from his sleep, he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. And he was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God. This is the gate of heaven. Friends, do you see that? This phrase jumped off the page at me. Surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. Friends, I wonder how many times when you and I are struggling through stuff or going through a hardship, there's family drama, there's dynamics that are painful, whatever it be. How often are we unaware of God's presence? Jesus Christ used this same parable or this same vision, this story, when he told his disciples, you're going to see a stairway and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. Jesus himself recognized that there was this spiritual staircase, this connection between God and us that is imperceptible, but God's presence and his blessing is with us, even in our hardest of times. Can you do this? Can you give God 6 more minutes and just contemplate? What do you need to hear from God? What do you need to recognize that God is ministering to you, angels ascending and descending into your life, into your circumstances? Is God present with you right now? No matter how hard it may be, no matter how hot things may feel. Make that your prayer these next 6 minutes. God, show me, reveal to me this open door in the spiritual realm, angels ascending and descending with blessing. Make that your prayer. And come on back tomorrow. We're going to see how Jacob's life unfolds all this week, right here on the Daily Six. We'll see you then.